Hey, how's it going? My name is Safe, and if you've noticed, a lot of the videos I've posted recently have been support videos. Well, only two of them have been. I've been playing a lot of support because in all of my coaching sessions that I've been doing recently of lower level players, they all play support in some sort of way. Either that was what they first played, or that's what they get stuck playing because they're lower level and they know a lot less about the game. So I thought, why don't I help out my support gamers? I've been playing a lot of support so that I could make a list like this, and I've been playing a lot just in general in lower level games so that I can make a list like this. So today I've got 10 tips to help you get out of bronze, silver, wherever you are as a low level support. For my first tip, I've got something that maybe is a little heavy for lower level players. You might be very uncomfortable doing something like this, but be proactive. Do not just sit there and watch things happen in front of you. At a low level, that's what I see every single support doing. They're just sitting there watching. Maybe they try to save somebody who has low HP, or maybe they're throwing out like healing abilities if they're playing Emoji or something like that, but they're not being proactive. They're not making calls saying, jump on this guy, jump on this Gold Fury, I'll pull this guy and then we'll just get gold or something like that. Usually somebody else is calling for something and then they just happen to be there and they're kind of just there playing crowd control, like just throwing out abilities and seeing what happens, just watching, not being vocal, not being active. Especially in a role like support, it is very important for you to be proactive and talk to people. In a higher level game, the support should be the most talkative, the most active. The support should always be yelling, hey, we need to do this. Hey, I'm gonna stun this guy and then we just kill. For my second tip, this is something that is so tilting that I see a lot of lower level support players do. Do not neglect farm. The amount of times I see support players run up and die, and then they just auto go back to mid lane and steal waves off of people. It's insane. Follow people around that are doing jungle buffs. If your ADC is doing a buff and you need to be on that side of the map, just be on them. Split that buff. If your jungler is coming out of spawn too, walk close to the walls so that you steal that little bit of farm too. If your mid is getting buffs, go with him to get those mids. Get buffs from the people that are clearing them, because I know it can be hard to clear buffs as a support, but there are people clearing buffs all the time, all around you. There's so much farm on the map all around you. There are other people grabbing it. You can split with them. There are going to be people in your lower level games that are going to get upset at that. But if you're having a better game because of it, no one cares. Just do what you can do to have a better game for yourself. That kind of goes with another tip that I have, which is do not just sit in mid. The amount of times I see people die and just run to mid and they just sit there, it's insane. Do not sit in mid as a support. I understand it might be difficult knowing where you should and shouldn't be going. So a lot of the times you just sit in mid and try to have every single fight there. Don't do that, because if your mid is not winning, they're going to have a bad time. And there's just so much stuff on the map for you to do. You need to be looking around at what you can do, what is happening. Check your map. This is my other tip. It leads perfectly into it. But check your map. See the tempos of every single lane that's happening. Like, are you behind in left, but you have pressure in right? Do you have to alleviate the pressure that's in left? Go over and do that. Are you guys having so much pressure in right lane that you think you guys can get an invade? You could ping your jungler, say, hey, let's go and take this blue. We have so much pressure here. I want to fight right here. I'm getting this blue. I'm getting this red. I'm getting this purple. Whatever it happens to be. It kind of goes with being proactive, but look at your map. You can't just sit in mid. You need to be staring at your map, finding the tempos of the map, and just getting your flow of like, where do I need to be? If you're just sitting in mid, all you're doing is waiting for the game to be over. If you're staring at your map and you see you have pressure somewhere, that can lead into, like I said, calling out, hey, let's go steal this purple. And if you go and steal that purple with your jungler and your ADC, because you saw that there was pressure, maybe you get a kill, maybe you poke them out a lot, and you're like, oh, now we've got a gold over here. Like, there's so much that can happen off of just something simple as looking at your map and not sitting in mid all the time. Obviously, don't neglect mid lane. That's not what I'm saying, but just make sure you're staring at your map and you see what's going on. Come with me to this invade. Yep. Thought we might find one here. So much damage. Yep. Nice job. Yep, psych fire. Next tip, this is something that tilts me so much. Do not die when you don't have to. And I know that sounds simple. It sounds obvious, but a lot of supports will say this thing. They're like, oh, I got you out. I died for you. Something like that. Bro, shut up. You killed yourself, man. I was already out. You need to make sure that you're looking like, is your teammate actually in danger? Do you have to go in and save them? Is it more worth it for that person to die? Or are they just straight up out? There's a lot of the times where they're either already out or they're going to die anyways. So do not walk in there. There are people that are going to be mad. They're like, bro, why didn't you go in there and die for me? They are idiots too, man. There are a lot of idiots at low level games that'll say shit like that. But don't let yourself develop patterns because of idiots like that. Do not walk in and try to save people who are either already out or they are a lost cause, because that just means you're going to die for somebody who already got out, or you're going to die on top of this other guy dying, which means it's a 3v5. That's like basically a free objective for them. You really need to weigh your options on, do I need to go in and save this guy? Is he out? Is he dead no matter what I do? Do I have to make this hero play? Because a lot of the times you don't need to do anything. If you're like a Yamoja, throw up a wall. If you're Ymir, throw up a wall, you know, something like that. But if you're a Bacchus, do not jump in there and then insta die, or jump in there, this guy dies and you're like, oh shit, here I am, and then now you're going to die because you just jumped in. Never do that. Sometimes the best option in Smite is to just walk away, play it slow. My next tip here, tip number 6, is to limit your god pool. Especially in lower level games, as a support, you're not going to have a lot of the gods that you like to play get like target banned. So you don't have to worry about your favorite god being banned most of the time. I'm sure there are some times where it happens, but you can really just play a couple gods, get extremely comfortable with 2 or 3 gods before you start really branching out once you're a mechanically better player and intelligently better player. I would say up until you're like Obsidian or something like that, you really don't need to branch out a lot in your god picks. I mean, you really don't at Obsidian either. I think you're fine just playing a couple gods. They're still not going to get banned, probably. But limiting your god pool just makes a ranked climb way easier and way more feasible. For 7, this is something I always talk about. 7, 8, and 10 on my list are things that I always say whenever I'm giving tips to newer players. For 7, I've got copy builds on SmiteBrain. There are support players who've been playing at a high level for longer than you've been alive. They know way more about the game than you. Do not use your build that you just built up and you cooked it up and you're like, oh no, this is sick. Don't use it. It's ass. Use these builds that were made by people who have been playing at the top level of the game for longer than you've existed as a human being. Go on SmiteBrain. At 8, I've got Use Tracker GG. It is this website where you can see all of your ranked games, all your casual games, and they'll give you like a little tracker score of all of your stats, your KDA, gold per minute, XP per minute, and damage per minute. I know a lot of lower level supports who will say stuff like, I can't really farm as support, so none of that stuff is really that important for me. It's really all about how I impact team fights. It is important how you impact team fights, but look at top level supports and look at their stats, and it'll tell a completely different story. These people are farming way better than you. They're doing things way better than you. Whenever you look at Tracker, you can see your weak spots as a player, and you can focus on those things for your next session and the sessions after that until that number slowly climbs, and then, oh, look at that. Now you're winning a lot more games. That's kind of crazy. You have better stats, and now you're just winning. That's weird how that works. Number 9, this is kind of different. I've never really touched on it too much in my other tips, but I think it's very important as a support to try to duo queue. Find someone else to play with. And I don't think that's because support can't carry and win games by itself, because that role is broken, and low level players don't realize how broken and easy support is to win with. But it can be very disheartening as a low level support to go into games where people just aren't listening to you and you just lose and you feel like you couldn't do anything. But also, if you just call out what you're doing and what you want people to do more, A lot of the times people will follow up, so that could probably fix the problem, but there are still people who would not listen to you. So try to do a queue, find somebody to play with that will listen to your calls, or he will make calls and try to like shape you and how you're playing, just keeping you in line, keeping you focused. For my final tip, and this is going to be my final tip forever for anything I ever do for the rest of my time on this platform. That's to keep grinding. Don't stop grinding. Don't stop watching videos of people playing or people giving out tips or something like that. If you're always grinding, you're always watching videos, you're always consuming Smite in some sort of way, you will climb way faster than the next guy. You'll be better than them in no time at all. Keep grinding. The game is so great. Keep watching stuff. Keep trying to figure it out, and you're going to have a fantastic time. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that some of these tips helped you. If you have more things that you either have questions of or tips that you have for other people, you can leave them down below. If there's any roles that I should touch on later, let me know. I'm still doing coaching sessions. I'm about to do one later today, which is why I kind of wanted to make a video first before I jumped into stream. I'm coaching a support player today. If you want coaching, you can comment down below and I'll send you my email or something like that and we can get something going. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Hope I helped. Keep grinding Smite. Keep playing. It's a beautiful game. Every patch has been so fun. GG, stay safe.